Hello, welcome to the Cursus Projects. My name is Hugh. I will be your chef instructor today. Today I have Valérie, one of our students here at the Varna University of Management in the Culinary Art Institute in Bulgaria. Today in the Cursus Projects, we're doing vegetarian recipes for you. We're doing a roasted cauliflower tartelette. It's quite simple. There's 3 steps in this recipe. The first one is the crust. We're going to use whole wheat bread and a bit of coconut oil to do this. The second part, the filling, is made with cauliflower, which we have here, and also potatoes. I'll show you in a few seconds what we do with this. And the last part that we have is to cook this perfectly. We're going to make a vegetable stock. To start this, for the vegetable stocks, we have the following ingredients. We have leeks, we have carrot trims and carrot, onions. In this case, we have a red onion. We have tomato, and we have some asparagus. All we have to do is cut everything in smaller pieces. Doesn't matter the size. Of course, the smaller, the more flavor you're going to have through it all. We're going to add some water to this, to the level of. So we put about that much liquid. It's about 2 liters almost in it. We're going to bring this to a boil and then lower the heat so it simmer for about 35 minutes to have it ready. The next step is we're going to get our bread ready. So we have regular wheat bread, sliced whole wheat. We're going to remove the crust from it. Take a rolling pin and we're going to flatten out the bread. Now the next step for us is taking some coconut oil. We're going to cut and we're going to come in, grease the edge of the mold here, the edge of the slice also. Because these slices are not round, the bread is more like a D shape. So what I want to have is, I want to have more of a round shape. If I'm to go like this, like the slices were like this, if I go like this, I don't have quite the exact shape that I want. So I'm going to try and have, in my mind, I'm trying to see the shape that I want to have already. So with the coconut oil, we come and we just kind of glue them together as such. I have the molds that I'm using. I'm going to fit the molds inside like a double mold to put pressure trying to shape it. So what I want to have is, I want to grease the bottom and then the edges of the mold here. And I want to grease the top part here of the mold so it goes like this so they can fit in like a box. Using a paintbrush with the coconut oil, we're going to come and put our bread in it. Like a regular crust, you come and then you shape your mold with the bread. Fit it so that you have a nice edge on each side. You can get a paring knife, then you can come in, cut the excess bread. My stock is simmering, so I'm going to lower the heat a little bit. Have just a light simmer on it. And you come and you line like this. This is the first one. Like this. And this goes like that. And we'll put this in the oven at 85 degrees for about 30 minutes. Okay. While the bread is cooking, we're going to go with the filling. I have my stock over here, which is almost ready. We're going to get a potato. The role of the potato inside of this is to give it some thickness, some volume, because the cauliflower is going to soak up all the water that we're cooking. So we have a basic potato here. Gonna come and cut. To cut it, what we're going to do is we make a base on it so it's more stable, and we're going to make small dices. The idea is to make them more or less all the same size so they're going to cook evenly, so you don't have pieces that are cooked or uncooked at the end. Now when you cook potato, it is important to start with cold water or cold liquid. In our case, our stock, which is almost ready over here. Before we use it, it has to be cooled down. If I was to cool with a hot stock to this, what's going to happen is that the potatoes are going to cook on the outside before the inside, so you have lumpy potatoes. So we're going to salt generously our potatoes here, and then we're going to put the stock afterwards. Put this aside. Let's go with the cauliflower meanwhile. We can launch many things at the same time, so we don't have to wait for it all. So for the cauliflower, we have our fresh cauliflower here. We want florets basically. Like this. We're going to put a pinch of sugar on it and a little bit of our coconut oil. And we're going to roast this in the oven at 185 for about 7 or 8 minutes. So our cauliflower is roasted from the oven. We have two different. I made some earlier that I have and I have. You can have as little as this, which is just with the edge trim, or you can have, as I prefer, to have like this, slightly charred, which gives you more of a hazelnut flavor to it. I have the potatoes that are already here. I have some basil leaves which I'll use to decorate the plate in a few minutes after this. The recipe call also for herb oil, which we'll see in a different little recipe, how to make it when we do the salad. For this, now what we do is we have a blender. So we have our roasted cauliflower. I have some more potatoes here. This goes here. This goes here. It is important to use some of the cooking water from the potatoes. That will give you some salt when you do it, but not too much, because the water was salty. And the potatoes. We're doing a puree, basically. I go at speed at first, at low speed, because I want to make sure that I break all the pieces with the same texture. Now that it's blitzed, we have the texture that we have a smooth, creamy texture. We go to our plate over here. So we have here a little bit of carrot puree, basically carrot with vegetable stock that we have cooked. We're going to put our shell in it, which is this one here. We're going to put some of our filling inside, making sure that we put it over both sides, so that way the next step when we smooth it out, we're going to decorate with some basil leaves. And a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. So this is one version of it, like this. So this is our roasted cauliflower tartelette for you. Thank you very much for your attention today. I hope you enjoyed these recipes for the Cool Sauce project. We'll have more recipes coming up for you very soon. Have a good day.